Now, whenever it comes to life insurance, the most common question that clients would ask is the question of, which is better for me, term life or whole life? In my other video, we've looked at the quantitative comparison of a whole life versus term life, and also the considerations to have as to whether a term life will be better for you. In this video, we'll be looking at 3 considerations to have as to whether or not a whole life insurance will be better for you. Hopefully by the end of this video, you can decide which instruments are you more comfortable with. And without further ado, let's get started. Number 1. You need this coverage for a long duration of time. Now, from a pure cost standpoint, a whole life insurance is better for you if you need this coverage for a long duration of time, for purposes such as income replacement or legacy planning. To illustrate, let's take a look at 2 different scenarios and compare the total premiums payable. The first scenario is if you purchase one term insurance till the age of 70 years old, or the second situation is if you purchase 2 term insurances to replicate a whole life insurance behavior. From the above scenario, you can tell that for the first scenario, the difference between the total premiums payable between the term life and the whole life is about $25,000. Essentially, that $25,000 in cost is for the coverage of $100,000 beyond the age of 70 years old, as well as the cash value factor that I didn't mention. For the second scenario, a whole life plan will be cheaper than a term life insurance plan, and on top of that, there is still the cash value factor that I didn't mention. All things considered, if you need coverage for a long duration of time, a whole life insurance might be better for you as compared to a term life insurance. Moving on to my next point. Number 2, you want to have a lifetime coverage. Now, if you want to be covered for life, a whole life insurance will be better for you, as the cost of term life insurance would not make sense. Theoretically speaking, you do not need any life insurance coverage beyond your retirement. The reason for saying this is because you will be receiving an income from your retirement portfolio, and even if something were to happen to you, your lifestyle will not be compromised. So why then would people want to have coverage beyond their retirement? There are 2 reasons for this. The first is that they want to leave a legacy for the next generation, and the second is that if they want to create a buffer to pay for unexpected expenses that may pop up when they suffer from a disability or a critical illness. Examples of unexpected expenses are things like the cost of home modifications, change in diet, caregiver expenses, and also perhaps alternative treatment that are not claimable under your hospitalization insurance. That's it. While there is no need for life insurance coverage beyond retirement, having a certain amount of coverage will be good for you, as it acts as a buffer to provide for the unexpected expenses that we didn't previously provide for. Moving on to my last point. Number 3, you do not have the know-how or time to invest. If you need to be insured for a long duration of time and you do not have the know-how or time to invest, you will be better off with a whole life insurance. The reason for saying so is because for term life insurance to be quantitatively better than a whole life insurance in the area of payout receivable and surrender value, you need to at least be able to earn a yearly return of 4 to 6%. Or in theory, earning a 4, 6, 8 or even 10% seems very doable. In practice, it is not as easy as it seems due to the lack of discipline as well as emotional control that may impede your performances. Also, for you to be able to earn a return of 4 to 6% a year, you will need to take on additional risk that chances are is higher than the risk of a whole life plan itself. That said, from a risk-adjusted standpoint, I believe that a whole life insurance plan would make more sense, especially if you do not have the know-how or time to invest. Please watch the video on the buy term invest the rest versus a whole life insurance to get a better understanding of the quantitative comparison between these 2 insurance strategies. The link will be in the description below. Summary. So there you have it. These are the 3 considerations to have as to whether or not a whole life plan is better for you. To recap, the first is if you need to be covered for a long duration of time. The second is if you want to be covered for life. And the third is if you do not have the know-how or time to invest. In these situations, a whole life plan might be better for you as compared to a term life plan. Now that's all I have for this video today. If you found this video useful, do drop me a like and subscribe to this channel to stay updated with the weekly upload. If you do not know how to get started with your insurance planning, or if you do not have the time to do your own market research, you can consider engaging an independent financial advisor who can help you make sense of the market and shortcut your insurance planning process. To find out more information about how you can benefit from my financial and insurance planning services, you can check out what I do on my website and reach out to me directly. The link is in the description below. Stay safe, and I hope to hear from you soon.